Howdy, welcome to another tutorial on how to manage your school's website. My name is Chris, and today I will be talking about the forms functionality. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's jump right in. I'm using the Inspire demo, by the way, just in case you want to follow along or you are using that template yourself. So over here on the left hand side we have this forms area. This is where we'll be spending most of our time. If we hover over forms, you get a number of options. Let's choose that first one, forms. So we are going to forms, forms. We'll land on this page, and for me, there aren't any forms already created. You might already have one. I've tried to go through every school and make sure each one has a form created for them. Now, if you don't worry. We're going to be taking you through the creation of a brand new one. If you do, you can just hover over the title if it's there and choose Edit by that. So let's go ahead and add a new form here. I'm going to name this form Contact Us, and let's give it a description of this. Geez, can't type. I'm going ahead and create that form. Sometimes the form won't create, and that might be because there's an invalid character in the description field or something like that. If that happens, just go ahead and delete out the description and try to save it with just the form title. And then you can come back in here to form settings right there and add a description in a little bit to change that up. So on this new form, you'll go through here and it takes you through step by step basically how to add something to your form. Go ahead and read through that if you want, or you can just follow along. We'll be going through all of that as well. So over here to the right, you have a number of fields. You have standard fields, advanced fields, post fields, pricing fields. Chances are you're not going to be using post and pricing, but you're probably going to be using standard and advanced fairly often. Let's go ahead and get started with some advanced fields. And although it says advanced, it's because it's code-wise advanced, not because the fields themselves are advanced to understand. So under advanced, let's go ahead and enter in a name field. That way we'll know who is contacting us. So we have the first name and the last name. Let's add in an email field. That would probably be helpful, so that way we can contact them back, and a phone, just in case they want to add a phone. After that, we want a checkbox filled, and you'll see why in just a little bit. You can choose to ignore this. This is just how I'm choosing to build it this time around. And then we want a single line text, so they can write a subject message, kind of like they do in an email, and a paragraph text, which will allow them to actually write their subject. At the end, so we don't get spammed, let's go ahead and put a CAPTCHA. And quite honestly, I hate filling out CAPTCHAs, but they're a necessary evil. If you don't have them, you get spammed badly, and it just gets annoying. So let's go ahead and get started with this name. If I hover over any of these fields, notice you have this blue bar that shows up. You can hover over the title area, and you can drag and drop it in whatever order on the form that you want it to show up in. I'm just going to leave it up here at the top though. So if I click Edit, I thought I clicked that, guess not. You get a number of options. You can give it a field label. If you change this right here, that changes that label right there. You also have a name format, so you can choose extended or simple. The extended allows people to put in a prefix like Mr. and a suffix like Junior. You also have simple, which is just a one line, so there's no distinction between first and last name. I prefer to keep it normal. It helps with organizing later on, and you'll see that in just a bit. You have rules down here. I'm going to choose to make this field required. And then notice over here on the Advanced tab, you may or may not be playing in here depending on what your needs are, but you have a number of different options in here as well, such as adding a different CSS class name or enabling conditional logic. Whew, that's a tongue tangler. So we're going to ignore that for now, but I just want you to be aware that those are there. I'm going to close that, and let's go to email. I want to make sure that email is also required. You can also choose to do no duplicates. This might be handy if you're setting up a newsletter or something like that. It keeps people from being entered in twice. Or some kind of promotion or something even. You have enable email confirmation. If you do that, what that does is adds a confirm email box. So you have enter and confirm. Just to have a double whammy to make sure they've got it right. Again, you have the advanced fields there. Notice that when I check required, this red asterisk up here shows up next to the fields. That lets us know and the user know that those are required fields. You also have a phone. I'm going to leave that not required because, quite honestly, I don't care if they give me their phone or not. Their email is usually sufficient. So back here on the checkboxes, let's go ahead and edit that. I'm going to call this "Who do you want to contact?" This first value, let's go ahead and type in principal. This second value, let's type in counselor. Let's make it a little bit more descriptive. Principal's office. And then counselor's office. And maybe in this one you want to do webmaster. There you go. So then you have required. Do you want them to fill this out or not? It depends on you. I'm going to leave it unrequired for right now. This field, let's go ahead. Where'd it go? There it is. Give this one, we call this subject. I'm going to make this required. And I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to change the field size to large, which, notice, it changes this from being just that wide to being this wide. It allows for a little bit more space for them to enter something in. Down here on the paragraph, right, I'll say message. There we go. And I want the message to be required as well. And I can't quite remember what it's going to look like, so let's try the large field on that one as well. So down here, the CAPTCHA, I usually like to change the theme to being clean. It's just a little bit easier on the eyes and tends to fit in with most websites. Over here, I'm going to click Update Form. That gives us a saved form, just in case something happens. We don't have to do it all again from scratch. And then I'm going to right-click my preview up here at the top and open it in a new tab, so I can see what this form is going to look like. There we go. Fairly straightforward. We have a name, email, phone, who do you want to contact, the subject, and the write us a message. Let me show you a little trick here. We have email and phone. They're both half width. We can actually put those side by side fairly simply. I'm going to hover over email, click edit, then choose advanced, and then in the CSS I'm going to type GF, which stands for gravity forms, underscore left underscore half. Then on the phone, let's expand that and go to the advanced tab, and this one would be GF underscore right half. Now let's go ahead and update the form. Okay, so on this you're not going to notice it going in halves, just it's the editor. You need them separate so you can drag and drop them where you need. But over here on the right you'll notice the change once that loads. So now email is on the left and phone is on the right, and that gives you a little bit more of a compact form. So our form is saved. Let's go ahead and change the notifications. So if you hover over form settings, first let's go to the first form settings. These are the basic things that we entered in at first. We have the form title, contact us, the form description, should you want to change that, you can do that here. Your form layout, you have label placement, description placement. We can go into lots of details on these things, but for sake of use we're not going to deal with those. If you want to change the button, you can, such as if you have a newsletter, you might change this to subscribe, or you might change to submit, or maybe you just want go, or maybe you want something like send email, something like that. Submit is pretty straightforward and people are used to that, so I like leaving it. So when you're done, you can go ahead and click Update Form Settings, and it will update the form for you. Let's go to confirmations. The confirmation page allows you to, after someone has submitted the form, say what you want to say. If I hover over the default confirmation and choose Edit, you can change that right here. So for example, you can say the message is, "Thanks for sending us an email. We'll get back with as soon as we can. Office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. through 4 o'clock p.m. We are not open on the weekends. There we go. Then you can save that confirmation should you choose to. I'm going to copy that just in case I need it later. So I've saved the confirmation. Now let's go to the notifications. And notice that these same menus right here are the same ones over here to the left. You can navigate either way. Just you get used to it. Then you have your notifications. You have a standard admin notification, which means every time this form is submitted, it goes to the admin of the site. Who is the admin of the site? That's a good question. If you scroll down and you hover over settings and go to general, on that settings general page, there's an email field, and whoever has their email address in that field is the admin of the site, and that is who will be getting these emails. But let's change it up a little bit. So let's click an add new and create a new notification. Take you through the ropes here. This notification, we're just going to call this one webmaster, or maybe counselors. Geez, I don't know. Let's go webmaster notification. You might label that counselor notification or principal's office notification, and either one is fine. So send to, enter an email. We're going to send this to me. So chris@graniteschools.org. I hope I don't get spammed for putting that in there. Here we go. From people who are watching this video, not the form. So the from name, you can do a number of different things. Here you might choose to say this is from the website, or maybe you want to say this is from the webmaster, or maybe you want to say it's from the person. I usually like to say it's from the person themselves on the contact us form. So here, this little box, you can merge tags. If I click that, you can choose the field that you want to automatically populate that spot. So I'm going to choose name, then space, and insert the last name. So I have first name and last name. Whoever enters in the form, whoever their first name and last name is, that is what will display in this notification to the webmaster, to me. From email, your admin email is whoever is, again, in the under settings general, down there, settings general. So you can leave it like that should you choose to. It's really up to you. You can mix and match and play around with it all that you want. I like to sometimes change that to that email. And let's delete the admin email out of there. And so whatever email address someone enters in, that is the email it's going to say it's from. Reply to, well, I want to reply to that same email. The subject, often I like to put an acronym in here like WCF, which stands for Website Contact Form, or sometimes I'll put Contact Us Submission, or maybe you would want to put Newsletter Submission or Newsletter Sign Up, something like that. Then a colon, I'm going to go back to the acronym, WCF, then I put a colon, and then over here again on the merge tags, I take that and enter in the subject. Then we have message, and here we have a new submission. And again, the merge tags, and let's choose the right. Oops, sorry, not just that. I want all. Let's remove that. And let's do all submitted fields. And that way, everything that they submit will show up right there. Now that we've gone through and filled out the different parts of the notification, let's take you through what conditional logic is. So notice on each one of these fields, we've said first name, last name, email, etc. All of these spots, including this all fields, pull from your form. Pulls from name, first and last, your email, your phone, the subject, the write us a message. All of those will be populated into the notification that you receive. So what do we do about who do you want to contact? That's where the conditional logic comes in. Let's say I'm a parent. I'm coming through here and I notice that there's an error on the website that I want to report. I could fill out all this, and I could click Webmaster. I could type in "I found an error" and then explain the error down here below. How you make sure that that submission actually gets to you as the webmaster is you would come back over here and enable conditional logic. And then you could choose if who do you want to contact is webmaster. So setting this makes it so that whenever somebody comes over here and actually fills out your form, if they select webmaster, then whoever is set here in this webmaster notification is going to get the email. So let's save that notification. And let's come back over here to form settings and notifications just so we can see both of them. So now we have an admin notification and a webmaster notification. The admin notification, they get every single time there's a submission, they will get it unless you change that conditional logic in there to say only send this if the principal is selected, or only send this if webmaster is selected. I mean, you can mix and match to however you need. If you need to, create some more notifications called the principal notification, or the counselor's notification, or the janitor notification, etc., etc. And then you can use that conditional logic to say if this checkbox is marked, then send it to this person. Otherwise, if this other checkbox is marked, such as principal, send it to the principal. Okay, I can be a little bit scattered, I know. Go ahead and play with it. If you have questions, go ahead and send me a question. That's fine too, and I'll do my best to answer in a timely manner. So let's go back over here. We've created a form, we've created the notifications and the confirmation messages. So at this point, let's embed it on a page, or let's put it in the sidebar. You can do that fairly easily. Over here on the, if I can find pages here, there we go, pages, and click on all pages. Let's find the contact us page. There it is, contact. Let's edit that page. When we're on that page, you'll probably see something similar to this, where you have your numbers and your address and then this yellow box. That yellow box, as you'll have learned in a previous tutorial, is a Google map that I've embedded for all the schools. Put your cursor down below that yellow box, or above it, just wherever you want the form to display, and then you'll come up here and notice that there's this Add Form button. If you click that, you'll get this little display here. So you select a form you want to add to that page. I want the Contact Us form. Display form title and display form description? Yeah, probably not. Those are the titles and description that I entered in earlier. Enable Ajax, you can if you want. Then you can insert in to your page. Now it's been added as a shortcode. You can see that here. Starts with that bracket and ends with the bracket. It tells it to pull from Gravity Form, whose form is ID 3, which was the Contact Us. And you don't have to know all that different stuff. It puts this in automatically for you. And it puts the settings in here that we just checked as well. So at this point, I'm going to update my Contact Us page. And then let's go check it out. So I'm going to go up here to the school name. Oh, missed. Right click it and open link in new tab. That way I can bounce back and forth to my pages. Let's find the contact page. There we go. So that's my contact page, and there is the form. Now, just to make that a little bit easier on the eyes, so it's just not a map and then the form, let's go ahead and put a little heading in there real quick. Send us an email, and I'll update that. So that's how you put it on a page. Let's go ahead and refresh that on the contact page. There you go. Now we have send us an email. And you have all that good stuff with the submit button and the CAPTCHA and the text fields. We've got it all there. So let's go ahead and just fill that out real quick. Oops. I don't know what my office phone number is. I've had it for a year and I still haven't memorized it. Then you have webmaster, subject, oh, now I'll get a test here, see if I can enter this stuff in. So once that's been entered in, you'll get a little message down here. Thanks for sending us an email. And that's the confirmation message that we put in there earlier. So that's basically it. Let's take you through real quick on how to embed it in a sidebar. So if you hover over Appearance and go to Widgets, you'll go to the sidebar area that you want to enter it in. Maybe you want it on the home page, or maybe you want it in the primary sidebar, maybe you want it in the footer. It's kind of up to you. Usually if I'm going to put a form in a sidebar or a footer area, I usually create a form just for that and shrink it down a little bit so I don't have all those different contact us and subjects and messages and check boxes and everything. Just make it nice and simple so it doesn't take up too much room. So you'll find where you want it, primary sidebar, come over here, you'll drag form over there and give it a title, select which form you want. Down here you have that same stuff, enable Ajax, those are little animations, form title or form descriptions. I don't want either of those. I'm going to enter that in, and we can watch for that down over here in the sidebar now. And it's going to look a little goofy because I made it for a main page and not quite the sidebar. There we go. So contact us. And it has this error here, but it's because I did a page refresh, which tried to submit the form for a second time. But anyway, that's the general idea of how it works in your sidebar. And again, usually I just create another little form for the sidebar, something with just your name and your email and maybe a small message. That way you don't have a whole bunch of stuff in a sidebar area. Anyway, that's how it's done. If you have any questions, let me know. My name is Chris again, and you can contact me via the communications office. Thanks for watching.